Endzone 2. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Endzone 2 is a post-apocalyptic survival colony builder where you embark to secure humanity's survival after a cataclysmic disaster. Discover and repopulate the last habitable grounds where the survival of your people hinges on your wits, foresight and resilience in a harsh and unforgiving world. Yes guys, this is Endzone 2. I reviewed the first one and I didn't like it in early access, but when it fully released it was quite a bit better, but still not a brilliant game. So I had high hopes for Endzone 2 because, learn by your mistakes and all that. So yeah, I was quite excited. I love colony builders. I love the post-apocalyptic ones as well. So yeah, it was all looking good until I played it. Guys, normally this is how I do these kind of games, whether it's a city builder, colony builder, pretty much any game where there's going to be a long haul involved. I'll go straight through the tutorial, and then as soon as the tutorial ends, I start the game again and off I go. Sometimes even after that I restart again to get the really good builds going, because you learn a lot by your mistakes. This game, I switched it off after I'd finished the tutorial because I was so bored. I was so bored. I couldn't believe how boring this game is. All the fun things that were in the first one have pretty much been stripped out. There's no combat anymore. The expeditions are just totally crap now. I'll go into it in a bit of detail. I mean, the combat in the first one was not excellent, but I just thought, yeah, a lot of people liked the combat. You didn't do a very good job in the first one, so yeah, make it better in this. Nah, just take it out. So combat's gone. A lot of things have gone in this. It is quite dumbed down now. Although a lot of things are coming back at the one release, so a lot of things are just not in yet because it's early access. So let's start from the top, guys. What you have to do in this is you build a colony. Now this is where the first change comes in, a much better change. You have a vehicle, you start in a vehicle and you can drive around the world and look at where you want to place your starting location. You don't have many options, but you do have a couple of options to put it down. Once you put your base down, you then have to do the usual stuff, build tents, chop down trees. In this case, you collect scrap as well, get some fishing going on, get some gathering going on, get some food and water coming in, and then you're kind of up and running. You then start going down the tech tree. Now, to get into the tech tree in this, you have to have tech points. Tech points unlock progress down the tree. The only way you can get tech points is through expeditions. Now, in the first one, an expedition was kind of like just words and words and words on the screen. You would pick specialists and things to go out. You picked your best people for the job, and you would then send them out, and you would just see what happened, really. In this, you have one guy who drives the car, and the car doesn't need fuel. He has no specializations, and he drives around the map looking for expeditions. The expedition, by clicking on it, will tell you what you need to complete it. So you'll need certain tools. You then go in and you control a little guy as he walks around, and you literally are just like a metal detector with your mouse, looking for anything at all that turns into a hand. So it's just like mouse over every object until it turns to a hand, then right click on it, your guy goes over and tells you what he can do with that. It might be just something to loot, or it might be say, oh, I need a generator, or I need a ladder, I need a blowtorch, I need an axe. You'll need certain gear that you can carry with you to do these expeditions. And as you start looting in an expedition, the progress bar goes up till you get to 100%. Once you get over 50%, you've earned yourself a research point, and that's how you get your. It's so boring, so boring, guys. It's painful doing these expeditions. I much preferred the first ones. If that's the way it is now, just go back to the first ones because they're just better. Let's balance that up with things that are better. Well, the first one had big problems with people doing their jobs. Pathfinding AI was pretty lousy. It is better in this one. Unfortunately, that's probably because they've dumbed it all down. Do you know, I didn't get any sense that I was managing a colony when I was playing this. I just felt like I might as well have just been given a spreadsheet and just thought, right, if you put that down there, that number will go up. Put that down there, that number will go up. oh, that number's going down, so build that and put it over there. That's how it felt. You know, when you play like Manor Lords and stuff like that, you literally feel like you are building a colony. Well, in this, you just feel like you're just watching the arrows at the top that's red or green, and if they're red, you build more of that or put more people in to work on it. And I just found it boring. And it's a shame. It's a huge shame, because this should have been really better than it is. I mean, it's not good at all, guys, this game. I'm sorry, it's just not a good game. If you had expectations, and I always have expectations on a sequel, because you should have learned a lot from your first game. This just feels like the first game again, with just a few changes in the wrong direction. But we'll balance that with something else that's good. You can now build multiple colonies, which is it's essential, because you don't have as much building area. So it's kind of like they've shrank the building areas that we used to have in the first one, and now you're kind of forced to have multiple colonies, which is fine. So I have a colony set up that brings herbs in, because they have a swamp, whereas my main colony doesn't have a swamp. You need swamp to grow herbs. The herbs are shipped back to my main base, where they are turned into pharmaceuticals, and I have a pharmacy there that distributes that to my people. Now, I've set up trade routes with vehicles. You start off with one vehicle. I've found another one and built it up. And you just set up a trade route, dead easy to do. And my vehicles will run back and forth to the base automatically, bringing whatever I tell them to one base, and then taking back whatever I tell them to from that base. So that's cool. I like that. That's a definite step in the right direction. But I just feel that there's more steps gone backwards than there has gone forwards. I love the dual colonies. I love the vehicles. I think all of them are great. But the fact that they've just took so much stuff out, like specialists, dumbed down the way you build your colony. The expeditions are just so boring. So boring, guys. Honestly, I nearly was in tears after doing about 6 or 7 of these expeditions. It was just, oh my goodness, no. So where it goes from here, I do not know. It's got a year, apparently, in early access. And games are supposed to be fun. Make it fun. I put a market down, right, in my town. And it just didn't. You know, when in Anno, when you put the market down and you see people coming around and doing all that. Or like when you're in Manor Lords and you put the little land aside for market stalls and all that. And in this, I may as well have dropped a wheelbarrow full of fucking manure down. But all the good it did, aesthetically or immersion wise, it was just, right, you've put a market down, these things will happen now on your spreadsheet. It's just lifeless game, a soulless game, guys. It just doesn't immerse me at all. It's boring. As I said at the beginning, it's boring. It's boring to play. It's just not a good game. We'll see what it's like when it releases, but my goodness, they've got a hell of a lot of work to do. A hell of a lot of work to do.